A world battered by natural disasters marks International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction tomorrow. Tonight on our special segment, Planet in Peril, which highlights the effects of human activity on the planet, we take a look at the work carried out by volunteer organizations to reconcile man and Mother Nature.
Climate change at both global and local level is now a well-established reality. For many poor countries in Africa, Asia and Latin America, climate change adds another layer of complexity to already existing development challenges. 66.5 million children are affected annually by disasters, and according to the United Nations, victims of disasters and climate change should be encouraged to participate in disaster risk reduction and decision making. During the last 2 days, we spoke about natural disasters and the impact of global warming across the world, including Sri Lanka. According to aid organizations working on the ground, there is a need to consider how humanitarian and development approaches can, in many instances, help enhance communities' capacity to adapt to a changing climate, or at the very least, prevent actions that undermine adaptive capacity. Disaster risk reduction is a spectrum of activities from disaster preparedness to disaster-resilient building practices that aim to limit the impact of natural disasters on communities.
If we get ready, be ready for a disaster, we understand the way that the disaster could affect us, and we take mitigation activities. Be ready for a response. That's simply a disaster risk reduction.
According to the Red Cross, which is among the many organizations working on the ground on many projects relating to disaster risk reduction, South Asia has experienced its share of devastating earthquakes, and it also accounts for the largest non-polar glacial deposits melting due to the effects of global warming. Communities are the first line of defense against disaster, and the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society says when a community is better prepared and act together, they can collectively reduce the impact hazard that could otherwise transform into a disaster.
What we want to do is try to reduce the threat when a cyclone, a tsunami, flooding or fire. We try to do everything possible before the event to make that a safer community. So it's really about making safer communities by using physical means and also by educational techniques.
An average a year sees 12 million earthquakes, 100,000 thunderstorms, 10,000 floods, hundreds of landslides and tornadoes, and dozens of hurricanes, wildfires, volcanic eruptions, droughts, and tsunamis. While the scale and frequency of natural disasters has increased, the number of deaths caused by these disasters has seen a significant decrease, thanks largely to better disaster preparedness. While this indeed is good news, it must be kept in mind that while more people now survive natural disasters, those injured, displaced, or left homeless are on the increase. Earth may seem a more dangerous place than ever, given the daily reports of natural disasters. But what must be remembered is that it is not Mother Nature that has changed, but man. Our planet is in peril. It is up to us to save it.
Tonight on our special segment, Planet in Peril, we focus our attention on community-based projects that have been initiated to mitigate the effects of natural disasters.
It doesn't take a genius to figure out that, of late, man's relationship with Mother Nature has been estranged at best. Having stomached man's indiscretions for the better part of the last century, Mother Nature is now hitting back, and hard. Nature's wrath, brought about by years of toxic, harmful, unrestrained emissions, has humbled man into submission by the sheer scale of the destruction caused. The Batagala Pusadeva Central College in Valapane is a hive of activity these days. Landslides are a regular occurrence in this area. This footage bears testament to this fact. Many relief and aid organizations work tirelessly in landslide-prone areas like this with the objective of creating awareness among communities on impending natural disasters. The Red Cross Society launched its community-based disaster risk management project a few years ago to create safer communities by improving preparedness at both household and community levels, as communities are identified as the first line of defense during natural disasters. This awareness project, initiated by the organization, is among the many projects that have been launched across rural schools that are vulnerable to disasters. How must they act? What must they do? And how must they prepare are some of the lessons taught to these children in Walapane during this exercise. The workshop under the Safer School program teaches children the basic functions of first aid, such as how to treat wounds and provide painkillers, and subsequently direct the victims towards medical attention. According to the Red Cross, by engaging communities from a development perspective, sustainability is improved.
You see, teaching first aid in a community is risk reduction, because when we teach first aid, we teach about health and hygiene, so that's making a community safer.
Whatever the disaster mitigation measures in place, some still believe in old-fashioned instinct.
If the creature called the ulama cries, a death will occur in the village. It will definitely happen. There is no doubt about it. If it continues to cry after the death as well, a disaster will occur in the village, be it landslides or a cyclone. At least 10 or 15 houses will be destroyed. This creature is like a radar to us. It makes us aware of what's coming.
උලම හරියට මේ අපට මේ රේඩාර් එක වාගේ අපල ලස්සනට දැනුම් දෙනවා.
Much of the long-term success depends on the environment that is supportive of community-based risk reduction in terms of institutions, policies, regulations, as well as development planning and disaster response that are in line with risk reduction objectives. A safer community will undoubtedly bring about a safer society and will go on to create a better tomorrow for everyone.